Hi there, it's Jax again. I'm back with another flashlight review. I think this is the fourth installment in my EDC series, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Thrunite Neutron 1C, which is a single CR123A battery light, or a 16340 slash RCR123 light. So it operates on either of those cells. So having said that, it will operate from 0.9 volts to 4.2 volts. So anyways, yeah, so like I was saying, we have the Thrunite Neutron 1C, small everyday carry flashlight. It's about 3.5 inches long, kind of standard size flashlight for the EDC type that it is. It's similar in its thickness to, say, a Nitecore EX10. And for a size comparison between two well-known lights, this kind of gives you an idea just how big it is. So that's it compared to the Nitecore EX10, which is 3 inches. So you can see that the Thrunite's about a half an inch. Lots of EDC lights, especially single AA lights, seem to be about 4 inches or just under 4 inches. This might be considered a little big for a CR123 A light, but it's still 3.5 inches and it's still quite small. And for another reference, here it is beside a Quark 47's Quark Mini AA. Again, another 3-inch flashlight, so it's a half-inch bigger than that. And here's a big, well, not a big, but the Phoenix TK11, to give you an idea of the size difference between that and the TK11, which is itself is a about a 5-inch and a little bit more flashlight. So a couple size references there. So the head, I'll have to get into some explanations here because I have the reflector out, but yeah, so anyways, yeah, so 3.5 inches, a little bit bigger than a lot of the single CR123 lights out there. Still pretty good size. Maybe it's comparable to a Quark regular 123, maybe a little bit bigger, but having said that, it's still pretty small. You can still hide the thing in your hand. You know, it's small enough for everyday carry. Now, before I start with anything else, I think I'm going to go into what this light came with. So you may notice the light does not have a clip. Now, I don't know if Thrunite is coming out with a clip for it. It might, they might be able to develop a clip for it, probably mounting up here. I'm not too sure. The clearance from the clicky switch doesn't look like it's gonna happen. I'm not sure, but be advised that this light doesn't come with a clip. Now, it comes in a store shelf presentation box, and here's the box here. Mine says Neutron 1C, and on the bottom you'll notice they went and stuck a sticker on it saying NW, and that's there to tell you that I have the neutral white version. So we'll get into a little more of that. So that's the box that it came with. Now inside the box, it comes with 4 spare O-rings. It didn't come with a lanyard. I don't believe it came with a battery, but it did come with, like I said, the 4 spare O-rings and a decent sheath. Now, the sheath, here is the Thrunite Neutron sheath. I just so happen to have the sheath converted into a small knife. I made the holster from the Thrunite into a knife sheath. So there's my little Damascus homemade knife there. Anyways, so this is the Thrunite Neutron sheath. It's a nylon type of deal. It's nice quality. It's got elasticized sides, really thick nylon on the front and back. Has a belt loop here, and then a plastic plastic little area you can use here for you know, strapping it to your backpack or whatever. Anyways, if you, here is a Quark regular AA holster. Now, just so I'm showing you this so so you get a better idea what the holster looks like. Just imagine this was cut off right here, because the Thrunite holster doesn't have a lid. So if this was cut off right here, this is pretty much exactly like it. Same sort of deal. And as you can see, the Thrunite fits into the Quark holster nicely. So it does come with a nice little holster. Just doesn't have a flip lid, but the retention on the original one I think is probably pretty good that you don't need it. So no clip, no lanyard, but a nice holster, and 4 O-rings. So okay, so having said that, I paid $60 for this light. I'm Canadian, but I did buy this online from an American flashlight dealer. I can't remember who that was. Maybe goinggear.com or something like that, or Battery Junction perhaps. But yeah, so I ordered the neutral white version. So oh yeah, sorry guys, I think it came with a split ring too, unless I went and shoved that on there myself. Now, the light is all tubular except for these little cutouts here on both sides, and these 2 little machined grooves here. So anti-roll features, none, unless you went and stuck a split ring on, and the split ring itself will stop the rolling. Or if you put a lanyard on, you know, it will probably stop the rolling. For those that wondered if it has anti-roll, it doesn't. It has type 3 anodization, which is the hardest anodization you can get. I've used this light quite a bit, and it's been with me for a while, and the anodization is nice. Sometimes when you shine a bright light on the anodization of flashlights, you notice different colorations, a little bit of variation to the colors. That might be from when they anodize stuff in different batches, and the colors aren't perfectly matched. Although to your naked eye without a light, you might not be able to pick it up. But so anyways, I don't know if this one has that, but it appears to be nice anodization. The knurling is really nice. It's it's pretty aggressive. It's not slippery at all. It's knurling where you need it, since you know, this is a clicky and a twisty light, so you're going to need a bit of knurling there, a bit of knurling in the middle to hold it, a bit of knurling at the cap too if you want to hold it back there. Pretty good for the cigar style, or whatever you call this grip. These little cutouts are nice on either side because it allows you to tail stand the light, and also since there's cutouts there, your thumb can fit in there. So maybe it's the best of both worlds kind of thing. You know, you might be able to activate that with gloves, since those cutouts are there. 4 holes, 2 on each side for the split ring attachment or lanyard attachment. What is this? Laser etched Thrunite and 1C. Yeah, okay, so that's the laser etch. Okay, so this light has a stainless steel craniated bezel, which unscrews, and a reverse clicky switch. Now, on this light, am I getting ahead of myself here? Yeah, so a reverse clicky switch. So this light is so similar to the Quark 47's Quark series of regular sized lights in its user interface. It's very similar in that you soft press the tail switch to activate to go through the modes, and also twisting the head to access the other modes. It's almost identical to a Quark user interface. For those of you that have a Quark 123 or a regular Quark AA or whatnot, it's pretty much very similar, and you'll feel right at home with the user interface. Note that I'm not talking about the Quark Tactical, but I'm talking about the regular AA and 123 and whatnot. So having said that, this light For those of you that want to know, it weighs 45 grams without the battery. It has five output levels and 2 flashing modes. It has square threads. I'm reading off a piece of paper right now. It has square cut threads, so we'll go ahead and we'll take a look at that quickly. Not anodized up at the front here, as you can see, but big, thick, fat, square threads. Really nice. Good thickness to the aluminum, which is T6061 aluminum, which is a tough, resilient, strong aluminum. It'll take the dings and the drops pretty good. So anyways, not anodized up in the front here. Of course, we got one O-ring at the front, one O-ring up here or back here, an O-ring in the back, and maybe something under the switchy boot here. So it's IPX8 waterproof, which means it's totally submersible in the water, and you could take your light for a swim, or if you drop it, or you don't have to worry about going out in a severe rainstorm with it, it'll take it. Let me see. I'm just going to unscrew the back. I don't know if this side's anodized. This might. And what do we got here? We have anodized threads in the back. Okay, so that's good. So for those of you that want to know, you could lock out your light by unscrewing it a quarter turn. And that way nothing's going to accidentally engage the clicky switch, which has a decent, pretty stiff action to it. Not excessively stiff, but stiff enough that it probably won't be engaged too easily by accident. Nice, pretty decent feedback to it. Little clicky boot there. Inside the has the spring and the collar here with the 2 dimples, which means you could unscrew it and access the maybe change the boot or access the stuff inside the boot. So once again, anodized, big thick anodized square cut threads in the back. So good there, locked out. You can lock her out. Some people probably find that really important. They want to lock out their lights. Okay, okay. So according to the sheet, the front lens here, the front glass window here is a hardened, probably a hardened tempered glass or whatever, but it has something called a sapphire coating, which is anti-reflection coating on it, and for good light transmission, which a lot of the flashlight manufacturers do that, add some sort of benefit. If you notice right now, I'll go into the emitter and why there's no reflector in it right now. And this, some of you will find this interesting. For those of you that know what a mule is and want, pardon me, and like mules. So, pardon me. So what we have sitting inside there is a great big old Cree XML neutral white. I don't know what the exact color temperature is, but maybe about 4,000 Kelvin or something. It's a neutral white emitter, more on the warmer side than the cooler side. I'll show you the beam. It's a really beautiful colored beam. I have heard some say they don't like it. It was too orangey or too warm for them or whatever. I really love this. The beam that comes out of this thing is warm. It's like an incandescent, like a bulb flashlight. It's really warm. It's you know, it's beautiful. It makes the colors pop, but I imagine it has good color rendering, since the colors seem to pop pretty good. Makes the reds nice and red and the blues nice and blue and whatnot. So it's really nice if you're reading a book at night or whatever. You know, whatever. When you're using it outside and stuff like that. It might be on a little bit on the too warm side for some people that like a true neutral white. So be advised that it has a bit of warmth to it. I find it beautiful. Some might find it a little bit too much outside. It does maybe over dominate. It's not a true neutral, so you'll see a lot of the beam color. But I like it. So be advised. Be advised if you're looking for a true neutral where the colors are going to just appear as they appear naturally. This will throw its warm tint on it, so you'll have a bit of that. Although I like it. So anyways, the reason why I have the reflector out of here, for those of you that know what a mule is a flashlight that you buy for pure flood applications. You know, like you can get Gizmos or Zebra Lights. Zebra Light's a pretty famous one where they have certain headlights and whatnot that don't have a reflector. They just have the LED. So you're getting a pure floodlight, almost no spot to it, just a uniform, you know, a uniform beam. Almost with no hot spot. I mean, everything's almost the same amount of light. Benefits of that is if you're in a tent, you're reading a book in your room at night, you don't want any big hot spots. There's lots of benefits to that. It's a really neat thing, and I've been using it as a mule right now, so that's why the reflector's out. Now, having said that, I have the reflector right here. Small little guy. The head on this is, I think I measured it at 2 centimeters or 22 millimeters or something like that. 22 millimeters, I think. But so it's a small reflector. I would call it moderately orange peeled. I was calling it heavy orange peel, but so it's a decent reflector, all aluminum. I would call it narrow and deep, but that might be just to get a little bit of a bit of throw out of this big old XML T6. It's a T6, by the way. That's the binning on this one. So I do have the reflector out. I'm going to go ahead and show you. I'm going to pull the lights and show you the flood beam just the way it is. So pulling the lights, and I'm going to turn the light on maximum. So that's the that's with the reflector out. So, and that's on turbo mode. Strobe, Firefly, next one up, next one up, next one up, and I'll get into all these modes. But anyways, that's it without the reflector. You know, perfect, perfectly nice. Look at the color rendering, pretty nice, eh? The red is nice and red, the blue's blue. Anyways, that's without the reflector. Really nice. Don't expect this thing to throw far or light up a great at a great distance with a whole lot of lumens, because it won't. It's for close-up work without the reflector. So I'm going to go ahead and pop the light back on. Now, having said that, I'm going to talk to you while I install the reflector here. Now, on one CR123A disposable 3-volt lithium battery, this light is 255 FL1 or American National Standard Institute lumens. So that's the laboratory measured lumens with the CR123. 255 out the front for, it doesn't tell you, but I would have to guess about an hour or something. And then the other modes are, the lowest mode this thing gets, for those of you lovers that love low outputs, you'll love this. It's 0.09 lumens for Firefly mode. The next one up is, pardon me, on Firefly, which is 0.09 lumens on a CR123, it'll run for 100 consecutive hours. Next one up is 9 lumens for 33 consecutive hours. So next one up is 50 lumens for 6 hours consecutive hours. And then you got the turbo and SOS. Now, all these change, or the turbo changes when you go and throw a lithium-ion cell in there. So, when I put this cell in this light, all the lower modes are still the same, I believe. Firefly is still really low. I don't think they change. What does change is the strobes, the SOSs, and the maximum mode. This then goes into 450 lumens. Turns into a powerhouse of a floodlight when you have a RCR123 or a 16340 3.7 volt lithium ion cell in it. So be aware, it's a beast. For those that want maximum impact, get the cool white. The cool white might seem to have a little more punch. This is a neutral white, so it's probably putting out less than 450 lumens. and it doesn't have a lot of throw, so don't expect those it's really deceiving. Those 450 lumens, you might go, oh, where's all the 450 lumens? Well, they're there, it's just they're all in flood. It has a bit of throw, not much though. But if you want a good floodlight for your immediate area, your driveway, you know, poking around at work, going into your basement, you know, that kind of stuff, this is a good light. So if you need a bit of throw, maybe look to something else, like, you know. So if you really value your floodlights, here's your light for you. Anyways, so I went and I took the glass out. There's the Nutri-White T6 XML down there. I don't know if you can access the emitter. There's two little dimples in that plastic. When I tried to move it a bit and it seemed to unscrew, but I don't know if it's you know, I don't know if that comes out. So you might be able to get in there and mess around with it. I'll check from this side too. So here's this side. We got we have a metal ring in there that's a reverse polarity protection kind of mechanical thing. So the button, or sorry, so the back of the thing doesn't make contact with it, and installing it in a reverse polarity situation. So kind of jabbling on here as the time's going on. Anyway, so I'm going to pop the reflector back in there. I just wanted to show you guys the mule mode. Not everyday carry flashlight can operate in a mule mode. Some need the reflector in there to be pushing down and on the emitter and stuff. So there's the nice reflector in there. We'll go ahead and we'll put the O-ring and stuff back in there. There we go. Pop the glass back in there. Screw in the stainless steel bezel. Oops, what am I doing wrong here? Sorry guys, I'm doing something wrong here. Okay. There we go. Okay. So, reverse clicky tail switch. You push and let go, and when the head's fully tightened, it comes on turbo. Here's the hot spot with 450 lumens. So maybe I could show that on the roof. Giant, wide hot spot, great spill. The thing that makes this an excellent floodlight is that giant hot spot will diffuse at you know, like 25, you know, 20, 25, you know, actually 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 feet. Anything beyond that, and it's not quite, you know, don't expect to see a deer too well in the bush, because it's not intending to be a thrower. But the point is that it makes excellent EDC for short distances, because that central hot spot, when you point it into the distance, diffuses, and up to a certain level it makes for an ideal beam for EDC use. So yeah, let me see. So anyways, as I showed you, with the head tightened, you reverse click, you turn it on, and if you soft press it without a full click, just soft press, it goes into a fast tactical strobe at full output. Now twist the head and it will go into the other hidden modes, or to the other modes. So here we have Firefly mode, and the camera might not be able to pick it up, but you can look into that comfortably. I don't know if the camera's going to get with the program, but so that's the 100 hour 0.09 lumens right there, Firefly, which is their version of Moonlight. There's the next one up, that's 9 lumens, which is perfect for when you wake up out of bed and you just want to walk around the house without waking everybody else up. Next one up, there's 50 lumens, enough to walk around your yard, walk around your house, whatnot. Next one up, I'm just, by the way, I'm just soft pressing to cycle through these. Next one up is 120 lumens, plenty of light for most applications. You can walk through you know, a bush trail and stuff like that, I believe, with that kind of power. And then soft press again. We go into, what is this, SOS, I believe, yeah, ... dash dash dash, or dash 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 ... whatever. And Yeah, sorry, 120 lumens was for 2.1 hours, which is pretty good. So anyways, it's going to stay in SOS, I believe. Is it? Did I press it? I might have pressed it, but oh no, it's staying in SOS until you shut it off by soft cycling back to Firefly or turning the light off. It doesn't have mode memory, I don't think. I could be wrong. Maybe it does. Let's see. No, it doesn't. So put it back into maximum there. I forget what I was going to tell you. I had something I wanted to say, but I can't remember what the hell it was now. Yeah, so, oh yeah. Anyways, that's about the user interface, and that's about, I think I covered pretty much everything. So, lots of power, lots of flood with this light. For those of you that want that, keep in mind it's more of a floody type of light, and it'll suit those needs pretty well. The cool white one on a RCR 123 probably has a lot of punch. A lot more punch with the cool white, but yeah, nice color rendering index and stuff like that. So for $60, I guess I'll leave that up to you guys when you do your shopping around to decide what how it stacks in comparison, in value comparison against other things of you know, the equal price. Now, saying that, you might be able to find the light for way cheaper at different places. So look around. Maybe it's $50 in some locations. Yeah, so that's my review, and thank you very much for spending time. I want to give a quick shout out. If you're a Canadian or an American, or from no matter where you are, not many people probably in the States know of a great Canadian band called the Tragically Hip. For you that like hard rock and some really unique stuff, might want to check out the Tragically Hip. Kind of giving a shout out to my Canadian heroes type of deal. If you're interested, really awesome guitar, solid drums, really unique style. They've been around for a long time. They're Canadian legends, absolutely beloved by the Canadian people. But yeah. So, anyways, guys, that's the Thrunite Neutron 1C review, and thank you for spending your time with me. Have a good night. Take care.